Now, there's a very huge development, connected to the NYS suspects, the people in court at the moment waiting to face trial, that most people have missed, okay? But it's very, very big news. It's actually shocking news. But I have to admit, it is not surprising. As shocking as it is, as big as the news is, it is not surprising to those who know these things. The Anti-Corruption Court Magistrate Douglas Ogoti has ordered for maximum security around the NYS suspects. Okay? This is after the lawyer told the magistrate that the NYS suspects fear for their lives. Now, for anybody who understands how corruption works in Kenya, it would be rather obvious that these NYS suspects are in grave danger. But something specific happened in their case. Inspector Mike Muya, who's the investigator in charge of the investigation, has been accused by one of the suspects as being very much involved in the corruption cases. As being very much involved in corruption. In fact, they have accused the inspector of framing them. And yet, as they say, he was involved. He received payments. He was even a signatory in various transactions. This is what the suspects are accusing him of. In fact, so serious have these accusations been that Inspector Mike Muya has been withdrawn from the case. The claims by the suspects are even more crazier than that. According to these claims, they say that the inspector has been harassing Ann Girita. He has been sexually molesting Ann Girita. Trying to, making sexual advances towards her. This was, of course, long before Ann Girita was charged. So the implication here is that the good inspector is vengeful. Is on some kind of revenge mission because Ann Girita rejected his advances. Now, one of the suspects has a sworn affidavit to this effect. And what caused the magistrate, Douglas Ogoti, to order maximum security around the NYS suspects was when the lawyer told the magistrate that they have received information that Bwana Muya is not happy about the revelations they have made. In plain English, they're insinuating that the good inspector could do something about his unhappiness. Hence, the maximum security ordered around the NYS suspects. However, it is rather obvious that the suspects, even apart from the Muya case, it is rather obvious that the suspects could be targets. And I'm going to tell you exactly why immediately after the short upcoming commercial break. You don't want to miss this.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Non più avrai questi bei panacchini, quel cappello leggero galante, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante, quel vermiglio d'onesco color, quel vermiglio d'onesco color. Non più avrai quei pennacchini, quel cappello, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante. Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girando, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Fra guerrieri può far bacco, grande stacchi stretto sacco, schioppo in spalla, sciabla a fianco, collo dritto, muso franco, un gran casco, un gran turbante, molto onor, poco cantante, poco cantante, poco cantante. Ed invece del fandango.
Welcome back. Now, any fan of mafia movies, Don Corleone and company, will understand this situation perfectly. The current people being arraigned before court are just part of a wider plot. Yeah, they're the small people. They are the big fish who are still out there. Now, as I said in an earlier recording, obviously these people in their defense are going to start naming names. There's always the tendency people have of I will not go down alone. Yeah, and yet the other people even more responsible than me. I will not allow it. That is natural in human beings. Now, when you understand this, you'll begin to understand why the NYS suspects have been denied bail. Yeah, you'll begin to understand another possible reason. In fact, the main possible reason why the NYS suspects have not been released on bail. It is for their own safety. Yeah. To be very honest with you, if I was one of those NYS suspects, I would not want to be released on bail. Yeah. And the reason is simple. Others will want to cover their tracks, and others may not trust me to keep my mouth shut. Let's go back to the mafia movies. Hey, what's going on with the Ngerita birds? You want to make sure that the Ngerita birds don't start singing, because birds sing, and birds can sing a lot. Who's gonna take care of it? Now, for those who've watched those mafia movies, you will know that policemen were involved. Yeah, magistrates were involved, judges were involved. The organized crime managed to put everybody in their pocket, virtually everybody. Now, obviously, this is not the case with the NYS suspects. However, we now have cops or policemen being implicated by one of the suspects. Now, that is a very, very scary bit here. Because once you get policemen involved, and of course these policemen want to protect themselves, they want to protect their careers, the whole issue becomes very dangerously explosive. But there's something even a lot more dangerous than that. Yeah, the NYS scam was not pulled off by these small fish. There's some very big, powerful people in government who are the main instigators. Now, these big, powerful people have got even more access and means than any policeman would have. My view is that the NYS suspects are very scared. They're terrified. In my view, and I'm speculating, they have a choice between going to jail and death, because they could very easily avoid jail and die and end up dead. Or they can keep their mouths shut and go to jail and live. Folks, those are terrible choices, very terrible choices. None of them is comfortable, and indeed, one of them is death, which every human being wants to avoid at all costs, which can bring us to only one conclusion, that the real masterminds of the NYS scandal may never face justice. The odds are clearly against them ever being able to face justice. Oh boy. Oh boy. How sad. But that's what it really is. Until next time, this is Kumekucha.